Alright, so this will be the second half of rebuilding the boom. I'm gonna fire up the machine in a minute and look at the slop in here, the slop in here. You'll see when I lower this down, we're gonna get some slop in this. So that'll be the next shot. I'm gonna fire up the machine now. So you can see there's some slop in the 3 pins. Most of it's actually in the swivel assembly, the swing assembly. But I'm going to pull the pins anyway and see if there's anything I can do. I can hope that the pins are a little loose and try to get some fresh pins. Well, you can see there's quite a bit of slop in that first pin. So now I'm going to have to decide if it's out of round and if I can just make an oversized pin that fits it all and makes it a little bit more snug without trying to set up line boring or anything else. Well, I pulled the pin out and I'm assuming this channel iron is straight. That pin is kind of bent there. You can see there's a lot of space underneath from one end to the next. So even if the pin is undersized, it's bent like a pretzel. Okay, so besides the pin being bent, the pin was also about 20 or 25 thousandths undersized for 1 inch. So I said, okay, I found a nice pin here. Well, it might be a little long. I might have to cut that back. And I just had to slightly remount the back side hole here for the pin. It fits really good now. Maybe too good. That fits really nice. And it doesn't fit too bad in here. It's a little sloppy this way, but I think it'll stay centered a lot easier. However, I couldn't get the pin in on this side at all. And what I found, I tried to ream it out, and I don't even know which way this goes. But that piece looked really good until I touched it and it fell out. So I think the next project is to just cut all this off, see if my pin fits through, and then put a new bearing surface bushing on this side. So that's the next step. Well, I cleaned that off. I sure hope that wasn't one of my welds, because it was pretty half-assed. It was only welded from here over to here. Nothing on the bottom at all. Now, I don't like welding upside down, but I don't think I would have left that like it was. So now the next step is to see if in fact this fits through, and of course it doesn't. So that's the next step, is to try to ream that out just a little bit. I don't think it needs a lot. We'll see how tough it is with the reamer. I'd rather have a rag catch on fire than put some spatter on that cylinder. Well, let's see. I didn't check the welder. I had some 6013 in it. I'm going to try some 7018 at the same setting. And we'll see if it is too much or not enough. Well, it's good enough for a tack. I'm going to shut off the camera, raise the boom, and then lower the boom all the way around and get the other side. Got some slag on the back side I got to get off. Well, that worked out pretty well. I welded this all in, got most of the way around, but the whole thing is a whole lot better than it was. It was only welded half before. This is about 80%. And the pin is really tight. I had to drive that in with a hammer, but I suspect it will loosen up because the cotter pins don't go into any hole to prevent it from spinning, so it can spin either inside here or here, and I don't really care which. It's lubricated. So now I'm gonna look at the one down below and see how bad these two are. Maybe I can get the same resolution out of those that I did out of this. Okay, well, I'm now working on the bottom part of that piston. And another pin that's bent. Another pin that's 35 thousandths under. Both pins were at 965. I don't know why they didn't use 1-inch pins, because I'm pretty sure a 1-inch pin will fit in there. So I'm going to try to scout up some more 1-inch pins, or I might have to turn some. Well, this is the end of today's work. We're down to looking at this master pin right here. These three, this mast, this main mast, main boom goes down in there. And it's loose. And I don't think I can fix it the way I've fixed all the others. And I didn't want to, but it looks like I'm going to simply take this cylinder off of here and lift up all these hoses, get this out of the way, move it a little bit, and take this back plate off. I have to fix it anyway, and it is loose. And once I get it out, I can fix the pins on this for the swivel. I can fix this main pin inside, which is really loose here. So then I can work on it on the bench instead of trying to do things here. But we'll see how bad it is to take apart. I took it apart once 10 years ago. So that's it for today. I think I skipped a couple of steps here. So one of the last items, besides the mosquitoes around here, is that I was worried about this bottom end of this piston. Well, I found a piece of 1-inch shaft. That's what I went looking for, but it's hardened, so I had a little difficulty with it. Probably shouldn't be using hardened shaft for it. Well, if it breaks, it breaks. I'll mill one of my 1¼ shafts down to 1 inch, or go buy some 1-inch shaft, which is probably what I should do. And it tightened up everything pretty good. I then pulled the top pin, which is also very loose, and I realized that at this point I'm going to undo this cylinder again, suck him back up, lift these hoses all up, lift the boom up with the engine hoist, and take my swing mechanism off again. I did that 5 or 6 years ago. It's time to straighten that out a little better. So that's what we're up to this morning.